Okay, so just testing out the video on the 8 megapixel selfie camera of the Samsung Galaxy A12. This tops out at 1080p at 30 frames per second, which is about right for this class. Video quality is pretty good. There's no stabilization on this camera, nor the main or the ultra wide cameras. And detail looks alright. There's only so much detail that an 8 megapixel selfie camera is going to be able to capture. But like I said, it's not too bad. Here is the video capture on the 48 megapixel main sensor, which bins photos to 12 megapixels. Again, no stabilization of any kind on this camera when it comes to video. Quite often on budget smartphones like this, you will get electronic image stabilization just to give you a bit smoother video, but unfortunately you won't find any of that on the A12. And this is video coming from the 5 megapixel ultra wide camera, which again, like I said before, no stabilization, and color wise it shifts to quite a pale sort of color temperature on the ultra wide. I mean, on the main camera there's not the normal color pop in the photos that you would normally find on Samsung phones. It does lack any AI features, but on the ultra wide it is coming out a lot paler, much more muted colors. But you know, at this price point you can't really complain too much. Obviously resolution is going to be dropped dramatically from the main sensor down to just this 5 megapixel ultra wide, which has 123 degree field of view, so you should be able to get a decent amount in your videos on this camera. Now, one thing to note on the photo quality from the main camera of the Samsung Galaxy A12, I have found that the photos on the main sensor have been really nice quality. You get a nice level of detail. You don't get that color pop, like I said before, like you find on main Samsung phones, like all the flagships, because there is no AI feature on here. But like I said, colors are good, detail is good. Switching to the ultra wide, you do lose quite a large amount of detail, dropping down just to that 5 megapixel. The color temperature does shift quite a lot, and there's no distortion correction on the ultra wide of the A12. So looking around the edges of the photos, you do notice that there's a curve to the images because of that lack of correction. Photos from the selfie camera are pretty good. A good amount of detail, more detail than what you'll find on that ultra wide, as it's 8 megapixels over 5. And portrait mode is pretty good at separating the subject from the background. I've done a couple of portrait selfies and there's only been the odd bit of like my hair that's poking out on the side here that it seems to struggle with, but apart from that, it's been really, really good. Okay, so in terms of extras that the A12 offers in terms of its camera settings, it's pretty restricted. All it offers is a panorama mode, a macro mode, food mode, and the bog standard pro mode, which is found on most other phones. Whereas, you know, something like the X3 Pro, the Poco X3 Pro, sorry, don't know if you can see, It's got a few other modes on there that you can choose from. So yeah, the A12 is pretty restricted, like I said, in its camera accessories, but for someone who just wants to go out and take some pretty decent photos, the A12 is a good option, especially on that main camera, which, like I said, produces nice sharp photos, excuse me, good amount of detail and some nice colour, which isn't too over the top. Now I'm just shooting this little segment with the sun behind me here, just to test on how the camera handles the glare from the sun. It's not too bad. Obviously there's no HDR support on the front facing camera. There is HDR support on the main, so that's quite a nice option as well. So let me know in the comments what you think of the Samsung Galaxy A12 2021. Overall, I think it's a pretty good camera experience, probably minus the ultra wide. You can definitely tell the lack of detail and the color shift on the ultra wide, but as far as the main camera goes, I think it's a really nice experience. So like I said, let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed videos like this and you want to see more, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.